What are the expectations from you and the program?
What is SP Plus?
I don't know. It's some ESPN rating system.
Okay.
But you said it.
I said SP Plus?
Yeah, or you said rank.
So. I've never heard of that.
You said S&P.
SP.
S&P.
S&P. Anyway, everyone, including you to the Board of Trustees, is talking about expectations for this team. Is it too early?
No, I mean, that's what everybody does in the off season. I get it. We finished the season well. We got a ton of talented players coming back. We still have some question marks, but that's what the off season, is about. Those types of conversations, I get it, but we're just trying to get better today. I thought we had a good practice today. We got to be ready to play well against West Virginia and see where it takes us.
Have you accomplished what you've wanted to accomplish to this point right now in camp?
Yeah, we've gotten a ton of reps, which has been good. I would have liked to get into the stadium a little bit more, but the weather hasn't necessarily cooperated with that. But we've gotten a ton of really good reps, really competitive reps. Our defense is playing really well. I thought our offense played well today, probably the best practice we've had this spring. But it's been competitive all spring long. We have depth at the specialist positions, which I know you guys, don't necessarily love talking about, but the reality is that's a big question mark going into this season with a new punter, kicker, and snapper. And that competition has been good as well. So, we've made some good progress. As you guys know, we got a number of guys that are out this spring. So it'll be great to get them back, as well as the guys that still haven't arrived yet in the summer, and we're going to need all those guys.
How has that affected practice so far, having some guys out? Has that like last year, or has it been better than last year?
It's been better. We've had a little bit of limitations, but we've been able to push through it. We got different positions it's affected right now. I'm pretty hopeful that we'll be able to have a traditional spring game with maybe only a few guys that may have to run, back and forth from sideline to sideline. But I think we'll be able to have a traditional spring game, which I think would be meaningful for us, allow us to get something out of that last practice, and also be able to give the fans something to look forward to too.
James, you've been stacking up back-to-back busy recruiting weekends. How much of a grind is that at this time of year when you're trying to get through spring practice, and how do you balance everything?
I think, we've been fortunate that the administration has been supportive. You guys know I've talked about this in the past. With the new rules, they almost make it impossible to not have a big staff. You have to have the numbers. We're literally, as you guys have seen, we're literally at these practices, and we'll have anywhere between 80 and 120 prospects at practice. And some of them are guys that are, rising seniors that we're trying to get to commit. Some are rising juniors that we've already offered. But then if you don't do a good job with those other 60 guys, there's going to be 5 or 6 guys in there that you're going to offer a scholarship, and they're going to base their opinion on Penn State about how that experience is. So there's a lot of moving parts. The new schedule, I think, has made it even more challenging because typically after the bowl game we'd get a little bit of time off. We got no time off the day we landed. The day we landed from the bowl, we had an official visitor on campus. So I'm trying to find some times throughout the rest of the year from a calendar perspective, whether it's a long weekend, or throw them a real bone by coming in at 8 instead of 7, really be nice. But where we can take a little bit of time, trying to find days to do that because the calendar's gotten more and more challenging. And I know it's a concern for me and a lot of coaches in the Big Ten, and a lot of coaches nationally with a lot of the boards that I'm on, like the AFCA, that we worry that a lot of coaches that probably would have stayed in college football are going to go to the NFL. You've already seen that.
What have you seen from Bo and Drew as the spring season has progressed?
I think it's been a really good competition. Those guys are battling. They're both doing really good things. Sometimes it's hard to compare and contrast because our one defense is really good and talented. So who they're going against is part of it as well. So making sure that Drew gets some reps with the twos and Bo gets some reps with the ones and vice versa. Those things are important. But I think those two guys are both battling. They're two guys that we're really excited not only for this year but for their futures. And really Jackson Smolik has done some good things. Him coming here now, coming here at the mid-semester has been huge. Because I think without that, I think it'd have been hard to feel like you had a third quarterback for next year. I think we got a chance now to get him ready for West Virginia.
How long is this going to be a competition?
Until it's obvious and been decided.
We spoke to Nick and Jalen Reed today, and their goals for the season, they said was to win a national championship. As a coach, how do you balance those high expectations with just doing your job today and the next day and keeping like that 1-0 mentality?
Yeah, I love that. That's great, but I'm going to leave here and tell them they better focus on West Virginia. But I love that. But to me, you spend all these times talking about goals and things way down the road, and that's fine to maybe talk about once or twice. But then you better spend most of your time focused on what you need to do to get there. That's all that really matters. Are you willing to do what it takes to get there? And we spend very little time talking about kind of results and goals.
Last week, Manny talked about how everyone wants to be on third down now after seeing what Tig did, in the Prowler role. What are the skills or what are the traits you're looking for to fulfill that position? What are the things that guys have to show you to get an opportunity to play there?
Prowler's really a package, not a specific position. It's our 3-down kind of chaos package in some ways, where we're able to bring a lot of people from a lot of different angles and try to put pressure on the quarterback and make it difficult for the offense to determine who's coming and who's not. And then to be able to have guys like Tig that have great instincts. I was talking to an NFL GM the other day about him. His instincts are through the roof, which makes him play faster and more productive. And that's what you need. You need guys on third down specifically, that have instincts and can kind of see what's coming and jump routes and play fast, and then have the ball skills to be able to finish it. We have that. And I think the other thing that helps is I think we're as good as we've been at defensive end. We got some guys that can rush the passer. And I actually think we do at D tackle as well, but we still have some question marks at D tackle.
I was going to go there with the defensive tackles. You said you still have some question marks. Are there any guys that have flashed this spring, or any guys that you think have done a nice job there so far?
Well, we got some guys out, so that's factoring into it as well. I think Zane Durant is really on a really good trajectory from I think you'll see a big jump from his true freshman year, kind of getting some reps, to now, being more of a guy with a significant role, and he's put really good weight on. You look at him, he doesn't necessarily look a lot heavier, but he's put on really good weight. And he's still lean and explosive and athletic. So he kind of fits what we're looking for. So he's probably a guy that's probably stood out as much as anybody. Then we're really looking forward to getting those guys back. And then we still got one D tackle that hasn't arrived yet.
James, with Rojas and Robinson now through almost 4 weeks of spring ball, what's your kind of assessment of their development thus far?
Kind of like what I was talking about with the quarterback, with Jackson Smolik, them being here now, I think has been really valuable. For Tamir, a huge part of it is just the confidence. I mean, I think we all forget he hasn't played football in a year. I literally was at, his first game of the year when he got hurt and didn't play again, the rest of the year. And so him getting out here and playing, I think has been really valuable for his confidence. And then Rojas is I think gaining more and more confidence every single day. He's put on 29 pounds since he's been here, and it's good weight. I don't know how that's necessarily possible, but he's put on 29 pounds. He's eating. Every time I go in the nutrition bar, he's sitting there eating. After practice, he's getting an extra pump in. and he's playing fast and carrying the weight really well. So there's a lot of excitement about those two guys.
James, when you mentioned the specialist competition, what have Falcons and Thompson, your two transfers, what have they brought at kicker and punter, and what is it like as a transfer coming into a room that is typically pretty tightly knit?
Yeah, you think about Stout. We've had guys like that in the past, but for us, the biggest thing is we think we're talented, but we're unproven and young. So to have a veteran guy that's done it in games before in the room, to make sure it's a true competition, we thought was important, and that's really how it's played out so far. I think Baqueta and Sander are super talented. They need to be more consistent, and having those veterans in there for them to compete with and earn the job